Hello there. Today I'm here talking about character inspiration and naming scheme in the game. For the character inspiration, I can only speak for two characters because those two characters are the only one that I confidently know, or at least I believe, where they inspire from. What I'm talking about is the yin yang girl, Yang yeah, Yang girl, and that lion boy, lion dance boy, whoever the hell that guy's name is, I do not know, right? But what I do know is that where they are inspired from. For the Yang girl, it's quite obvious, right? She was inspired by the martial art in China. It's called Tai Chi. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, but yeah, that is the English name for that martial art. And what that martial art does is basically the fighting style of that martial art is it depends on the counter attack of the counter. You use the force of the enemy, attack back, divert it back onto the enemy. Right? You are not using a lot of force here on you, and that counter is designed based on that inspiration. It's kind of an obvious for a lot of people. They're just kung fu, but for this particular martial art, I do know about this a little bit, and that is what I love to see in that counter. And because they that counter is inspired by that counter attack type of attack, and they integrate that into gameplay. And her fighting style would be, I would assume, revolve around the counter attack type. And based on the CBT, she actually showed that, right? More of the defensive and counter attack type. And the second part of this martial art is that this martial art is not designed for male user. It was designed for female to use because female have less muscle mass than the men, right? Raw strength, they don't have that a lot. That is why in the martial art world, they always underwhelming in terms of raw power. But this martial art designed for women to defend themselves in that kind of environment. And because of that, it's completely nice, right? It's very nice for them to use a female character to portray this martial art instead of a male character. Right? That is what I believe, that they know what they're doing when they design character. And that is what I would love to see more, even more of that, more character like that inspire, use the inspiration and put that into the gameplay and fighting style. And of course, there might be more, right? There might be more than just her and the next boy I'm talking about. Sure, right? But I would love to see even more of that, right? More obvious one. That's what I mean, more obvious one. Maybe there's someone that is, if you're Chinese, you look at it and you know immediately what they inspire from, and you see the gameplay, you love it, sure. And the second boy I'm talking about is the lion boy, lion dance boy. So when I was talking about the white boy over there, white hair boy, yep, that guy, I do believe he was inspired by a legendary hero in the China folktale, Wang Fi Hung. That is his inspiration from. And even in Western game, you already see this guy before. I think it's in the game Last Blade or something like that, right? It's an old game, right? But in that game, you already see this design appear. And look at this picture. That guy is Wang Fi Hung. They even have movie about it. It's called One Upon a Time in China. That is the main character of the story. And his fighting style is not limited to only hand or only legs. He can do some hand-to-hand combat, but the majority of his damage or his strength coming from the legs moves. And you know what that boy, lion boy, do when he turned that ultimate on? He used his leg to attack. And according to what I've seen, I've seen, Wang Fi is actually quite known for this lion dance thing. He does that a lot, right? And they use that kind of inspiration integrate into this character, and use this and even add that integrate even add that into the gameplay, and that is a very good design. I am so far I am only see or at least know about two this character. There might be more, by the way, but I don't know that. Right? I don't know that. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is the naming scheme of this game, and it's going to go straight up, right? Straight up to the point of the problem here. The naming in this game is very hard to remember. I know the first region is Chinese related region, right? You have a lot of Chinese name in that, sure. But let's take Genshin as a sample, because Genshin is the competitor with this. In Genshin, even in the Livia region or the Chinese region in that game, they have a lot of names that easily remember, and especially important when you use those easily remember name onto the character that you want people to care about, or your best selling character potentially. Right? In Genshin, there's a lot of names that's easily to be remembered, like Hu Tao, Yalang, right? And even in those names, you can even make jokes out of that, right? Listen, Hu Tao, yeah, Hu Tao, right? That kind of joke. Even recently, right? You have some boy named Gaming, right? I know he's gaming, but they make the conscious decision to create the name looking like the word gaming instead of gaming. They can put the H over there to differentiate, or make it two word to make it different, right? But they tie it up, right? They know about that. The naming scheme is actually quite important to make people remember your character, or at least remember the character you want them to remember. And that is why there's a lot of good character design looking in this game, I must say. But I don't even remember any of their name. Even the one that I am very much liked, like Jiangxing. Just recently I remember her name, but before that I just called it Yin Yang Girl. Yang Jing, Yang Jing, right? I have to repeat a few times to actually remember the name. And the naming scheme is not a big deal here, but it's a very small nitpick that you can actually have a character be way more underwhelming than it should be if you so to not pick a name that is easily pronounceable. Even the name of even let's say the name like Zhongli, that arguably pretty hard to pronounce, but even that name you can just simply call it John Lee, change a little bit, make a meme about it, right? Make a joke about it, right? Stuff like that, right? That's what I want to actually see from the naming scheme of this game, that not only you make the character name is easier to pronounce, maybe not having some twisting tongue kind of name like Yuan, Jiang, some bullshit like that. Try to avoid those kind of twisting tongue name, right? And even if you are unavoidable because of the law for whatever reason, right? Sure, then at least you can make it so that people can actually pronounce the name even in a different way than they want to, like gaming and John Lee, right? Those names, right? There are a lot more names like Shen Ho, right? That name, even that name can still have some meme of that Shen He, right? But my point is, the naming scheme in this game is kind of weak. Kakarot is a nice name. For some reason, you turn that name into Kakarot. Like, oh come on. But that is all I want to say. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you want to say in the comment, please. T signing out. Oh yeah, subscribe, bruh. What are you waiting for? Just press the button.